Now you away from everybody. And now you can feel a little freedom inside captivity because it's a threat out there. And say, man, jail is a place that you can't deny your problems.
If you don't mind, 'cause I know you said 95, what time, when did you go in and when did you get out overall, as far as when did you first touch down? Was it 95 or any time before that?
Nah, I went in like, I'm gonna say between 95 and 96 without being direct and to the point on me. But around the time I got out, I had done already did over 18 years, man.
Yeah. When they say the terminology, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, would you say that holds true in prison as far as, you know, when it comes to being on your pivot, sleeping one eye open, working on, you know, just working on yourself? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That means you're ready for war at any time. Was it like that when you first went in?
It's like that every day in there.
Yeah.
It's like that every day in there. And the reason why is because it's the same thing that goes back with people saying guns should be took off the street, but guns don't kill people, people kill people. So it goes back to that statement right there. You in prison. You cannot predict when the nigga sleeping up above you or the one sleeping up under you decides, fuck this, I'm tired. And he use you because you the easiest target. And what make you the easiest target? You got your eyes closed. You sleeping facing the wall. Your back is to him. But he know he fed up with what he going through on the other side of that cell door. So what he do? Take you out the game. He don't give a fuck about nothing else. Because it's harder for him on the outside them bars than it is for you. See, for everybody in jail, when them cell doors roll, it's a lot of inmates wish they stayed closed. Because just for them to walk out that cage and step into a bigger cage with other animals, they know certain one of them animals is waiting to eat them up. And living every day with that fear, they'll take the easy way out. Whether it's hit an officer, stab they silly, because once you do this, they're gonna put you in administrative segregation. Now you away from everybody. And now you can feel a little freedom inside captivity because it's a threat out there. And say, man, jail is a place that you can't deny your problems.
Yeah. You just mentioned, you know, just the animal mentality. How close would you say a jail imitates a zoo? How closely do you feel those parallels run?
A jail would imitate a zoo as far as man failing to maintain his morals and his principles. When he lower himself and succumb to the theology of I'm cool with swapping my carpet for cement, my bed for a bunk, my woman for a punk, now he's entering a phase of the animal kingdom. Because when you look at another man and you supposed to be one yourself and you accept the ideology that this is okay and you join in, you no longer part of, to me, that's when you start becoming part of that animal kingdom.
Yeah, and I look at it from a sense that, you know, a zoo has zookeepers. Zookeepers will poke and prod you to make you forget about escaping. Normally, a free-range animal will try, you know, hard to escape early on.
Right.
Then they'll poke and prod you till they know that this is your norm.
Right.
You ain't going nowhere. This little cage you got is your home now.
That's your home.
How do you feel that similarity between COs and zookeepers work when it comes to the correctional officers and a zookeeper? How do you feel like those parallel?
In that sense, it depends on the person that's interacting with that officer, because that wouldn't apply to everybody. Yeah. So I can't say that as a whole, a zookeeper will identify as an officer, because some officers are well-rounded. Some of them you can actually relate to. Some of them can actually see you and let you be you. They don't judge you. They just here to do their job, get their money, go home. They rules say, feed you, let you shower, let you go to rec yard. They're not trying to take none of that away from you. Now, in terms of a zookeeper, it's more like a taming process. So in that sense, you do have officers who will reflect a zookeeper. Why? Because this particular person comes to this job once he put the uniform on, it's like a transformation. He's now into his alter ego. I'm the king, these are my peasants. So now it's a training going on. When you see me, shut up and sit down because I'm gonna lock you up, make it hard for you to go home. You don't have the power to do it yourself, but with the rules that you enforce that we must abide by, you use that as an incentive to make us do what you want. So now it's a training going on. So when everybody see you, man, he know he ain't going for that. Y'all sit down and get quiet, man, because he gonna rack us up. He gonna take away our privileges. He gonna do this, he gonna do that. So in a sense like that, now you identifying with a zookeeper because you trying to program man in the same way they like to program the animal.
Someone once came out here and said, you went in at a young age. They said this was him, but before he could become a man in prison, he had to become an animal. Meaning that going in at a young age, you have to become almost animalistic in nature to survive prison before you learn how to, read, start educating yourself and become a man in prison. That you have to kind of become a product of your environment. What would you say to that as far as, someone saying that you got to become an animal first, then you become a man?
Now, I'm gonna disagree with you becoming an animal first. The thing about prison is when you go in as a baby, whatever is inside of you is what prison gonna wake up. That's what gonna be the beginning of your transformation. See, like me, I'm gonna give you an example. When I first went to jail and I got to prison, I got a visit from my mom and my sister. When they came to see me, I sat there. I might have had 1 or 2 fights and I said, man, you know what? I hope don't nobody bother me and I can just go and do my time, man, because I see these dudes fight every day, all day, man. I'm just blah, 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 blah. But now fast forward the tape, 5.5 months later, after I've been there, they haven't been with me. Now I'm isolated from family. Now I'm surrounded by these animals. And this is what you might refer to, I done became like them. Because on that second visit, and I'm sitting up here, I didn't say the same thing I said the first time. It went from, I hope they don't bother me, to where when I'm sitting down and a dude walked behind me and I see how my sister looked at him when he walked by because he had tattoos in his face. She said, damn, he on the way with you. And I looked up at him. They knew it was a difference because my statement wasn't, I hope they don't bother me. It was like, man, I wish one of these niggas would. That let them know he in this bitch. That let them see shit done changed. So you no longer who you was, I'm becoming somebody else. And they peeped that real fast. Because before I got locked up, big as this nigga was, I wouldn't even thought like that. I got out of his way. But they knew right then, respect was gone. And see, when they say at a young age, it's because you not necessarily becoming an animal, you transforming into a man. Because as a child, you realize going in there that way, you surrounded by grown men. You can't afford to be no kid in there. So you got to become a man. So sometimes being young, you get it confused on what a man really is. So you imitate the shit you see. And if they are animals like that, then you become like them. But again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's animal. Whatever is in you is gonna wake up.